Let's get something straight from the beginning. Most women don't know what they actually want. And I know that sounds controversial, but if you pay attention to their behavior, not their words, you'll realize just how true that is. She says she wants a nice guy, but ends up obsessing over the one who barely texts her back. She says she's not interested, but can't stop checking his social media. What's going on here? Welcome back to the channel, where we break through the noise, crush the nice guy lies, and teach men the truth about attraction. Today's topic? How to attract any woman, even if she's not interested at first. And I'm not talking about manipulation or tricks. I'm talking about understanding real male power and flipping the script. Because here's the raw truth. Most guys chase, impress, and overinvest in women who haven't earned a thing. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. But here's the twist. A woman's lack of initial interest doesn't mean the game is over. It means it hasn't even started. Women don't fall for logic or effort. They fall for emotional impact. If you can shift her perception of you, if you can spark that feeling of unpredictability, strength, and self-possession, you can completely change the dynamic, even if she was ignoring you before. This video is going to challenge what you think you know about attraction. If you're used to being overlooked or friend-zoned, good. You need this. You're going to learn how to stand out without begging, lead without forcing, and make her rethink every other man she's ever known. Let's get into it. Because once you understand how to reframe the way she sees you, everything changes. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. Make her feel your absence. Early. One of the biggest mistakes men make when they like a woman is becoming too available too soon. You meet her, you like her, and suddenly you're texting every day, always around, always responsive. What you don't realize is, this kills all mystery and tension. Women are wired to be intrigued by uncertainty. If she always knows where you are, how you feel, and that you're waiting for her, the game is already over. So here's what you do instead. Pull back before she expects it. That's the key. You don't wait for her to lose interest. You create the interest by becoming unpredictable. This doesn't mean playing childish games. It means strategic detachment. You give just enough for her to be curious, then you vanish from her radar just long enough for her to feel it. That space you create, that silence, it forces her to think about you, to wonder what you're doing, to start feeling the lack of you. And when a woman starts missing you early, before she's even sure how she feels about you, she'll start chasing the connection. That's when the power flips. Most guys think the more time they spend with her, the more she'll like them. But attraction doesn't work like that. It's not built through constant presence. It's built through impactful presence, followed by absence. She has to associate you with the feeling of wanting more, not being full. Here's how you do it. After the first few good interactions, whether it's a couple of dates or even great conversations, start pulling back. Don't text her the next day. Don't follow up too soon. Don't double message. Let her feel the silence. Let her start to ask herself, wait, where did he go? That moment is powerful. That's when she starts investing. Let's say you had a fun, engaging night with her. Everything went well. The average guy would wake up the next day and text, had a great time last night. Delete that instinct. Instead, go silent. Post nothing. Say nothing. Let her sit with that experience and wonder why you didn't reach out. That's not indifference. That's control. Men who make women feel their absence early are the ones they can't stop thinking about. You're not playing hard to get. You're showing her you're not easy to have. And that changes everything. 2. Stop explaining yourself to women. As men, we've been trained to believe that if we just explain ourselves better, if we just get her to understand where we're coming from, then she'll respect us. She'll like us. She'll see our value. But here's the harsh truth. Explaining yourself too much is a form of weakness in her eyes. When you feel the need to constantly justify your decisions, your silence, your standards, or your time, you're putting her in the position of authority. You're handing over your frame. And once she senses that you need her permission to be who you are, the attraction starts to fade. Women don't respect men who seek approval. They respect men who move with conviction. If you say something and she disagrees, let her. You don't need to over-explain what you meant. You don't need to soften your words. You don't need to win her over by clarifying your intentions. That's not strength. That's validation seeking. And women don't chase men who look like they're seeking to be accepted. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means being grounded. If she challenges your views, you don't panic. You don't turn into a public relations manager trying to fix a crisis. You stand on what you said. Because the moment you start over-talking and explaining, she's no longer listening. She's evaluating your emotional stability. Have you ever said no to a woman and then instantly felt the pressure to explain why? That's a test. And when you fold under that pressure, you reveal something. That your boundaries are negotiable. That you can be talked out of your frame. That you care more about being liked than being respected. And once she feels that, she loses a certain kind of attraction that can't be talked back into existence. The truth is, a man who knows who he is doesn't talk too much about it. He doesn't rush to clear misunderstandings. He doesn't beg to be seen the right way. He is who he is, and either she gets it or she doesn't. And that's what makes her want to understand him more. Not because he explained everything to her, but because he left room for her to think. Most men ruin their presence by over-communicating. They turn into explainers, validators, apologizers, instead of standing still and letting their energy speak louder than their words. You don't need to justify your silence. You don't need to rationalize why you didn't text back right away. You don't owe her an essay every time you make a decision. The more you explain, the more power you give away. Let her sit with her assumptions. Let her wonder. Let her figure you out. Because mystery builds desire, but explanations kill it. 3. Let her chase your attention, not your time. Here's something most men never figure out. Your attention is far more powerful than your time. Time is something you can give anyone. Family, co-workers, strangers. But your attention? That's personal. That's presence. That's energy. And if a woman feels like she can have it whenever she wants, she stops valuing it. Fast. Too many men give women both, attention and time, without making her earn any of it. You're always available for the call, always replying right away, always liking her posts, always showing up to show you care. And what happens? She doesn't appreciate it. She takes it for granted. Not because she's ungrateful, but because you gave it too easily. You have to understand this. Women aren't drawn to men who are just there. They're drawn to men who are wanted by others, men who are busy, men who know that their attention is a reward, not a freebie. You don't win her interest by constantly being around. You win it by being a man she has to earn access to. That means you don't give her unlimited access to your focus. That means you don't drop everything just because she called. That means when you give her attention, it's intentional. And when you don't feel bad. Let her feel that space. Let her feel the contrast. When she knows you can be fully present, but you're not always available, she starts to value those moments. When a woman has to work for something, she invests emotionally. That's where attraction grows. This is where most guys mess up. They confuse being interested with being constantly involved. So they stretch themselves thin, trying to show her how much they care. But what they're really doing is showing her that she doesn't have to do anything to get their full focus. That's not attractive. That's overexposure. You have to reverse the dynamic. You have to be the one she wants to impress, the one she hopes to hear from, the one she checks her phone for. But that only happens if you pull your attention back long enough for her to miss it. Stop trying to make her day with your presence. Start making her wonder when she'll get it again. Because the man who protects his attention builds value, and the man who gives it away for free loses all leverage. Let her chase your attention, not because you're playing games, but because you finally understand your worth. 4. Kill her comfort with your silence. Let's be real. Silence makes most men uncomfortable. The moment a woman pulls back, gets quiet, or seems distant, men feel this instant urge to fill the gap. They send a text, make a call, ask what's wrong, try to fix it. Because we've been conditioned to believe that silence means something's broken, and it's our job to fix it. But here's the twist. Women don't get uncomfortable when you talk. They get uncomfortable when you don't. And that's where your power is. You see, most men never learn how to let silence work for them. They're too busy managing the emotional environment, too scared to let her sit in uncertainty, too afraid of being misunderstood. But what they don't realize is, when you always respond, always explain, always reassure, you give her total control of the emotional rhythm. And once she knows that, she loses respect. Not always consciously, but she feels it. When a man is silent, it forces her to reflect, to sit with her own thoughts, to think about what you might be thinking. And that gap between what she wants to know and what she can't figure out, that's where attraction starts to build. Not because you're being manipulative, but because you're not trying to please her every second. The truth is, comfort is the enemy of desire. The moment she knows exactly how you feel, exactly what you'll say, and that you'll always be there to reassure her, she stops feeling that spark. Women crave emotional stimulation. They want to feel a little uncertain, a little off balance, not in a toxic way, but in a real way, a way that keeps their mind locked on you. And silence is the most powerful tool you have to create that feeling. It doesn't mean ignoring her for no reason. It means not rushing to respond. It means letting her reach out first. It means not always being the emotional caretaker. It means giving her the space to come toward you instead of constantly running toward her. You have to be willing to let her feel that gap. That moment where she starts asking herself, why is he so calm? Why isn't he chasing? What is he thinking right now? That space is uncomfortable for her. But if you can stay grounded in it, she starts to see you differently. You become less predictable, more composed, more masculine. And here's the part most men don't realize. When you kill her comfort with your silence, you're not pushing her away. You're pulling her deeper in. Because while words can be dismissed, silence lingers. Silence makes her think. And a woman thinking about you is already halfway invested. 5. Act like she's replaceable. Because she is. Here's the truth most men don't want to accept. The moment you treat a woman like she's the only one, she'll start treating you like you're just another guy. It's harsh, but real. When a woman senses that she's the center of your world, that your mood, confidence, and energy all revolve around her, she loses that natural drive to pursue you. Why? Because there's no challenge left. No edge. No risk of losing you. That's why you need to move like this woman, no matter how attractive, how interesting, or how much you like her, is replaceable. And that doesn't mean being disrespectful or careless. It means never placing her above your self-respect, your time, or your mission. You keep your center. You stay grounded in who you are, with or without her. When you walk into a situation already convinced she's the prize, she'll test you more. She'll become colder. She'll start pulling away just to see how much you'll chase. And if you keep proving to her that you're too emotionally invested too soon, you'll lose her before anything even begins. Now, when you act like she's replaceable, you shift the energy. You're not desperate. You're not anxious. You're not waiting around, hoping she chooses you. You've already chosen yourself. That's what makes her start to look at you differently. Women are drawn to men who have options, or at least act like they do. That kind of energy shows her you're not going to be emotionally handcuffed just because she smiled at you or gave you some attention. You treat her well, sure, but you're not hypnotized by her. You're aware of her value, but you're also deeply aware of your own. Let's say you're texting a girl. Things are going well, but then she starts replying slower. Instead of reacting emotionally or chasing harder, you ease off. You stop initiating. You go live your life. You let her feel your absence, and more importantly, your detachment. That move alone communicates something powerful. I don't need you to feel validated. And when she feels that shift, she'll either rise to match your energy or fade out. Either way, you win. Because the guy who acts like she's replaceable never moves from desperation. He moves from abundance. Even if he's not dating anyone else at the moment, he believes he could. That mindset is everything. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you from over-investing. And it keeps you in control of your emotions. You don't get power in relationships by convincing her to stay. You get it by being okay if she walks. And when she senses that, she'll fight harder to stay in your world. 6. Give her just enough, then disappear. As men, we're wired to show effort when we like someone. We want to prove we're serious. We want to show we care. So we go all in, texting, calling, planning, complimenting, giving constant attention. But what most guys don't realize is that overexposure kills desire. The more a woman sees you, hears from you, and knows she has your full attention, the less she values it. You have to understand. Attraction is not built through consistency alone. It's built through emotional rhythm. That means giving her enough to spark interest, to light the fire, and then stepping back to let it burn on its own. If you smother it with your presence, it dies. If you step away too soon, it fades. But if you give her just enough and then disappear, that's when it spreads. Most men mess up here because they want to build momentum. They think if one conversation goes well, they should keep the momentum going by texting more, calling more, making sure she knows how interested they are. But what they don't realize is, when a woman hasn't fully invested in you yet, more of you doesn't make her like you more. It actually makes her decide faster that she's not into you. Because there's no space to feel anything real. You need to let her imagination work for you. Let her wonder why you're not constantly around. Let her think about what you're doing, why you pulled back, and when she'll hear from you again. That space, that uncertainty, is what creates tension. And tension is what attraction thrives on. Giving just enough doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being intentional. You show up with good energy, you make her feel something, and then you leave before it gets predictable. You don't overstay your welcome. You don't force anything. You leave her wanting more. It's the same reason a song sticks in your head when it ends before you expect it to. Your mind loops it. You play it again. That's how your presence should feel to her. Unfinished. Disappearing isn't punishment. It's not about making her feel rejected or confused. It's about giving her room to come forward, to feel something on her own. Because when she starts wondering about you, when she starts checking her phone, when she starts thinking about that last interaction, that's when the shift happens. That's when she becomes emotionally involved. Men who constantly stay in front of her lose their edge. Men who know how to appear and vanish, they stay on her mind. Not because they're playing games, but because they understand value. They don't flood her with attention. They create moments that matter, then disappear long enough to let her miss it. That's how you build real attraction. Not by doing more, but by knowing when to do less. 7. Show her. You don't need her to want you. Let's get real. A lot of men are walking around with the mindset that needing a woman is the same as loving her. That being devoted means being dependent. And that if you just show her how much you need her, she'll finally choose you. It doesn't work like that. In fact, it works in the opposite way. The more you need her, the less she wants you. Because neediness kills attraction. Every single time. Not just in dating, but in life. People are drawn to strength, not desperation. They're drawn to those who choose them, not those who cling to them. Here's the brutal truth. A lot of you have built your identity around getting a woman's attention. You don't feel like a man unless she validates you. You chase, you overextend, you put her on a pedestal, and when she pulls back or doesn't return the same energy, you start to feel lost, anxious, insecure. That's a problem. And it's not just about her, it's about you. You've got to wake up and realize your value doesn't come from a woman seeing it. It comes from you believing it, whether she sees it or not. Women are not designed to be your source of purpose. They are meant to be attracted to your purpose. But if you're making her your mission, she'll start losing interest fast. Because no woman wants to feel like your lifeline. It's too much pressure, and it screams weakness. She should enhance your life, not complete it. If she senses that your emotional stability rises and falls with her mood, her replies, or her attention, she's going to pull away. Not because she's cruel, but because you've shown her that you don't have your own foundation. You want her to want you? Then stop acting like you need her. Move like a man who has options. Walk like a man who's fulfilled already. Speak like someone who's grounded, not looking for permission to feel worthy. Because when a woman sees that you're whole without her, that's when she becomes curious. That's when she starts chasing. That's when she realizes you're different. Men need to stop looking at women like saviors. She's not here to save you from loneliness, insecurity, or boredom. That's your job. Handle your life. Build your focus. Find your edge. Then, and only then, can you attract her from a place of power, not lack. So if you've been begging for attention, over-explaining, proving yourself, hoping she'll see how different you are, it's time to stop. It's time to own your space, pull back your energy, and remind yourself you don't need her to want you. And ironically, that's exactly what will make her want you more. Let's wrap things up with this. Women are not attracted to love. They're attracted to power. And if you don't understand that, you'll keep giving your heart to women who only respect your distance. You'll keep offering devotion in a world that rewards detachment. It sounds harsh, but it's reality. And it's time to stop pretending otherwise. Everything we've talked about in this video comes down to one thing. You have to stop giving away your power just to be liked. You're not here to be her emotional support system. You're not here to be her backup plan. You're a man, and when you act like one, she feels it. Deeply. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me where you've been giving too much, chasing too hard, or losing yourself in the process. Don't hold back. I read every comment and I respond. I want to know your story, because this isn't just a video. This is a conversation between men who are done being passive. You're not alone in this. I've been through it. Most men have. But the difference now? You know better. Now it's time to do better. Take the power back. She doesn't need to understand you. She just needs to feel that you've changed. And trust me, she will.